Welcome to the Rock Your Comeback podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Eaton, and I have a really special guest today. I'm going to be sitting down and talking about all things health and nutrition coming into the summer months with specialist Aubrey Turner. She's a gut health coach, functional nutritionist, and passionate public speaker dedicated to helping women heal, love, and nurture their bodies from the inside out. Aubrey goes beyond food and supplements to coach lifestyle shifts that fuel lasting energy, joy, and resilience. And her mission is to help women not only heal their guts, but truly thrive. Welcome, Aubrey.
Hey, how are you? I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Nicole.
I'm so excited for this conversation, and I have to tell you why, okay? I mean, I always love talking to you just because you're just such a bright light, but also I sat down and I was watching a movie with my kids yesterday, and we were watching The Devil Wears Prada. Because there's a new one coming out in November that I'm super excited about. They're doing like a second one. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's so exciting. It was such a one of those like rite of passage type movies.
Yes. So throughout this movie, it's Anne Hathaway, it's Meryl
Mhm.
Streep, and throughout this entire movie, the whole thing is surrounding this woman being a size 6, and size 6 being practically obese in 2000s, right? So the whole time they are calling her fat, they are like making comments about how her clothes fit. My kids grew up in an age where it's a little bit more like body positivity, but they were appalled watching this, and I'm like, no wonder like us millennials like have such odd relationships with food and with our bodies if Anne Hathaway of all people is getting fat shamed for an entire movie. And I guess I want to know like how it has looked in the nutrition and health industry from like the early 2000s until now.
That is, oh my God, I love that question. You are absolutely right. But also, let's pull in, so not just that, but let's pull in like the Britney Spears and the Christina Aguileras of the early 2000s with their ultra low rise jeans, with their midriffs, their like beyond flat bellies, like concave almost, right? And so that's what we're seeing. We're hearing a size 6 being called fat. And so 100%, 100%. You know what? I will tell you. So I work mostly in gut health.
Yeah.
So I'm mostly in the gut health sector of functional nutrition. And I have to work more than just, hey, let's eat, broccoli and the protein and the probiotics and all of the good stuff. We are going back and working on the relationship with food. We are going back, like, what are your earliest memories? What was your mom's relationship with food? What was like your mom's relationship with your food that you were eating? So everything is so connected. So now back to your question specifically, there has been a there so slowly there was this beautiful body positivity movement that happened, right? And accepting all bodies are beautiful, health is not a size. All of this I completely believe in. And then there was a very, very recently, there was this shift into body neutrality, right? Not basing your worth, not your mindset, your mood on your body size. Your body was what it was. And are you healthy? Are you enjoying working out? Do you lift weights? Are you eating healthy diets and still having a good, healthy relationship with food? And then weight loss drugs came onto the markets.
Mm.
GLP-1s and the Ozempics and the Wegovy's and all of the progress that the industry had made, that basically, let's say health is not a size, right? All of the forward progress that we had made under that umbrella, that there is no size for health, really everything just came falling out of the woodworks with that, because now everybody's losing weight again, because now it's, I'm not eating that much, I'm on weight loss drugs, I'm taking GLP-1s, I'm on Ozempic, and so now health is once again based on a size.
You know, it's so funny because, and this is totally not what I intended to talk about today, truly, but like, I have some friends who are on Ozempic, and it's messing with my mindset. I'm somebody who eats very, very healthy, and I'm somebody who I love working out. I don't work out as a punishment. I work out because it makes me feel like myself. Like I feel so good when I move my body, and I notice when I don't. But there's like part of me that's like, man, this person's dropping weight, doing absolutely nothing, and I'm busting my ass. And like, at one point we were having a conversation. She was like, I'm kind of weaning down if you want some of my, I'm like, for a split second, I was like, if I just lost 5 to 10 pounds, and then I was like, no, no, okay, this is not it. But it's so enticing to have a quick fix. And I'm wondering, I would love to talk with you today about like how we can kind of prep our bodies in a healthy way for the summer months, right? But like, how as a nutrition are you battling these new rhetorics of like, what's the point of eating healthy if I can just not eat and lose weight?
You I love the way that you said that, that you acknowledged everything that you said, and that's the problem. But I firmly believe that there is no such thing as a free lunch, right? So a couple of things to like almost preface this. I'm not really sure if free lunches exist, and we'll circle back to that. And I also want to clarify too that in the right setting with doctor supervision and with education, I am actually probably one of the few functional nutritionists, like functional, holistic, like let's work on lifestyle dietary changes for the long run. And I still support Ozempic and GLP-1s. I have no qualms with it. I get it. I have been in this industry. I've been health coaching long enough to, I understand it and I support it when it's done correctly. Um, a fallout of the rise of weight loss drugs is also that I've noticed people have gone even more supplement crazy because it's like, oh, quick fixes do exist. Oh, there are magic pills. And so everybody is now looking, well, what's the closest supplement I can get to a GLP-1, you know? And then people see their friends, their family members, pop stars losing weight without doing anything, right? I have clients who have friends who are on GLP-1s and they have half of a donut for breakfast. And they're right. And
Yeah.
so as a gut health coach, so you know what I think is really important? I think that we can kind of add this into all aspects of our life, but staying very much in my lane when it comes to health. We have to take some time to think about what is my health goal? Is my health goal to lose weight? Is that the end all be all and that is all that I want to do? Is my health goal, do I have gut issues? Do I have IBS symptoms, bloating, acid reflux? I'm not hungry when I wake up. I have no appetite, these kinds of things. Is my health goal more energy? I want to sleep better. And then I think it's really important to kind of weed down. Well, if my goal is gut health, GLP-1s are not the solution for gut health. Even if you are in a bigger body, GLP-1s are not the solution for that. And the truth is you're eating so little, GLP-1s probably are not the answer for more energy and for deeper sleep, you know? So it's also really important to take a couple of steps back and say, what is my ultimatum goal? Where is point B? Where do I want to be? Where am I now? What is my point A? And then figure out how to get there.
That's such a good take on that. And and I love that you're saying it could be for some people, and here's a way to do it that would honor that as an intention and help shore you up for the day that you're no longer on that, right? I think the people that I've met who that are on it are like, I'm gonna be on this forever. And I'm like, that's not gonna like sit well in your body forever, like that won't be the permanent solution. It might be a good jump start. But I think that that's a great thing. Like, even talking about it now, I'm getting like ads for it. Like, I was talking about it with her over the weekend. So now I'm getting like the supplement ads for these things where you can apply online and get in, but then now I'm also getting that pushed through my algorithm specifically on TikTok is I'm seeing like all these different supplements and they're not even just for weight loss, but they're so convincing that I need them, right? Like I'm so easily talked into things and like I mean you should see like my
Yeah.
skincare, like I just have like everything. But the reality is that everybody is getting mixed messages about like you need this is the supplement for you, this is a supplement that will clear your skin or help you lose weight or the probiotics. What are your thoughts and feelings on supplements in general and when should we take them and when should we not?
So I think that is the perfect question. And I'm gonna throw a curveball because I'm gonna say it is with I can think of one very easy exception right now, but it's so personalized. And I think to take a supplement that is really going to move the needle is not it's probably not going to be a supplement that we are influenced, that we are marketed to buy. It's going to be very specific, very bio-individual supplements that are based on our personal data, whether that's data from like stool testing for gut health, whether that's blood work, whether that's hormonal testing, like wherever that testing comes from, the supplements that are really going to move the needle for people are the ones that have been based on their personal data. With the exception of when we have to take antibiotics. Antibiotics, in the nature antibiotics, they go in and they are against all of the bacteria, the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, the bacteria that's making us sad. That's, excuse me, making us sick. So when we are taking antibiotics, it completely wipes out all of the beneficial bacteria that's in the oral cavity. And then myelin, of course, is all the beneficial bacteria that's in our gut as well. So it can be very important that when we're on a course of antibiotics for anybody without having the personalized data, to take a probiotic, to focus on eating whole food prebiotics, to really re-inoculate, to really allow the gut bacteria to come back and flourish because it is really so important in our gut health. And I want to go back just to one thing, just starting it, because it's something that's so important about the GLP-1s and piggybacking off of what you said and something that I said too, is that these GLP-1s, especially for people if they don't plan on being on them for their whole life, this is where dietary change, in my opinion, this is a requirement if you go on GLP-1s because you're going to lose weight because it really cuts that appetite, right? And so that's why people lose weight because they're only eating a third, maybe a half of what they're used to eating. So the food that you are intaking really I cannot stress this enough, the protein and the fiber really matters, or else with prolonged usage of weight loss drugs, there could also be bone loss, there could be muscle loss, and these things are very serious.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like with the supplements, like having somebody going to someone like you who is going to give you the exact supplement that your body is personally missing. And let's say we ditch supplements entirely. When it comes to personalized nutrition, like how do we know if we don't have the money or the funds to hire somebody? Like how can we identify what we need in our day-to-day lives? And is there staples that you recommend?
Yes, I love that, of course, and I okay, I love that. So yes, ooh, how could we figure that out? Okay. So if you think that, if anybody out there thinks that food sensitivities or food intolerances might be a problem, let's say there's a lot of bloating, there's gas, IBS symptoms, there's weird skin irritations and eczema almost breakouts, especially around the mouth or the jawline area. These all could be signs of food intolerances or sensitivities. And the best thing to do with that would be a 3-week elimination diet. This is not about restriction. And while it is about health, this is not about size. Just kind of like coming from that first conversation that we had. This is simply a science experiment. An elimination diet is meant to, we are eliminating a food or foods for 21 days and then slowly reintroducing them to our diet one time and seeing how do we feel? How does my skin work? How is my digestion flowing after reintroducing it? So that's a really easy way to maybe skirt around the cost of a food allergy, a food sensitivity test. So very easy that you can, and it's a great way to connect to your body also. We get so into our own habits. Eggs are a really big one, right? Eggs are in the top 5 allergens, but they're so common, they're everywhere, they're in all the foods that we eat, and it's like, "No, no, no, I've been eating eggs for 25 years. It cannot be the eggs," right? Like, we get into our own routines so much so that we can't even go back and see the beginning of it. So, it's just saying, like, "But you know what? I have been having I'm constipated, I have a little diarrhea, whatever your symptoms are, the bloating has just gotten, it's really starting to impact my life. Well, let's do elimination diet. Let's add them back in and let's see what happens. When it comes to some almost dietary prerequisites, so I'm gonna go for protein and let's aim for 30 grams of protein per meal. Ideally, would I like a little bit more? Yes, I would. But 30 is a great jumping off point for a lot of people because a lot of people are not hitting 30 right now. So let's make this realistic. Let's make this attainable. 30 grams of protein per meal, slowly maybe adding up to 5 grams, okay, per meal once you get adjusted to that. And then fiber. And I love fiber because fiber covers vegetables, fruits, seeds, nuts, legumes, whole grains, oats. So if we think about increasing our fiber, it's a great way to also increase all of our plant-based foods, which then hits minerals and vitamins, and we get great benefit from increasing our fiber as well.
Okay. So when it comes to like, if you could have people, so protein and fiber, but if you could have people like recommend 4 foods that you would say, I would wish everybody ate these particular foods per week at least, like what would be your powerhouse top 4?
Okay, so I would go for Ooh, I love this question. Okay, I would go for a probiotic fermented food. So that could be my go-to, and what I recommend for a lot of my clients is kefir. I love a kefir. It is a probiotic fermented dairy beverage. I have a little pro tip for that one because it can be a little bit bitter if you're just going like for the plain flavor, and that's the one that I love. So kefir is a dairy products, so it's like a milk and a yogurt. So anywhere that you add in milk or yogurt, you can add in kefir. So you can warm yourself up to it by doing like a 50-50. Let's say you're having a bowl of cereal, you might use milk. You could use 50% milk, 50% kefir. You're having some granola, you're having a little yogurt bowl for breakfast. Do 50% yogurt and 50% kefir, and then that's going to up your probiotics. So it's super easy. It's great. Okay, so we have that. Um, Fish, for the omega fatty threes. So when I say this, we can do tuna, we can do sardines in a can if that's easy. We can do shrimp, we can do salmon, tuna steaks, whatever that looks like. But I love incorporating fish because omega fatty threes are gut health, they are brain health, they are mood regulating. They are good for our skin. Omega fatty threes, they just these benefits of them. So I love a fish, I love a probiotic. Um, a protein. I can't not add in protein, and we can do seafood, we can do land animals, we can do a tempeh and tofu and edamame. I am very open to the spectrum. We just need to make sure that there's some protein going on in there. And you know what I think my fourth one would probably be? Because starting from the 90s, the early 2000s, whole breads are a whole grain product, and breads got really demonized, but whole grains are cancer fighting, they are heart healthy, they are blood sugar managing. So I also love whole grains as well. Maybe you're getting your whole grains from bread, maybe it's oats, maybe it's brown rice that we're doing, maybe it's a whole grain pasta that we're doing. But there are benefits of whole grains that, just reverberates around our whole entire body.
I love that you said that because I do feel like certain things like breads get demonized and again going back to like our programming from the early 2000s, there was all of those like different diets that were like don't eat carbs and don't like just complete elimination of like specific things, but these are helpful because even just I do eat yogurt bowls most every day, and so adding in the kefir and just getting my body used to that, that's such a great idea. And I love how simple these are, because 'cause you're not saying you have to have them every day or all day long, but here's some things to be mindful about including in your diet and why. Are superfoods a thing, or is that like a marketing scheme?
So, um, I I believe that it's probably a marketing scheme, but I also think that there are like herbs. Like as soon as you said that, like I went to ginger and turmeric, right? Those were like my first two that I go to, even parsley or lemon zest, like weird things. But so I do think that it is a marketing scheme. But I think that there are foods or there are herbs that are really like ultra nutrient dense, if you will, right? Like turmeric, it's anti-inflammatory. It has the polyphenols. It is colorful. We are getting so much benefit from turmeric. Do I think that it needs to be in that supplement form? Do I think that those supplements have the full healing power of the turmeric? Maybe some of them, maybe the very top line products do, you know? But another thing with the supplements is that because of the rise, because of the demand for magic tickets, magic bullets, quick fixes, overnight fixes, the supplement industry is a very largely unregulated industry. And so it is incredibly easy to say, oh, this contains probiotics, this contains polyphenols, this is anti-inflammatory. But they might have like the fraction of what our body needs to get those anti-inflammatory impacts. It might just have the smallest little fraction, but because it's so unregulated, they can still claim, oh, look, there is turmeric in it. It is anti-inflammatory. It's just we would need to take the whole bottle in one sitting to get the benefits. And then we're going to have a host of other, a slew of other problems, you know, that we're dealing with by taking a bottle of supplements with each meal, you know?
So, does is there a massive difference between like fresh parsley or fresh turmeric versus the jars for the, that you can find in the spice aisle? Like, how far off are those? Can I still use those and have any benefit?
Yes, you can totally still use those. I will say they probably won't be quite as strong. You might need a little bit more of the dried powder of the dried parsley. But I have another tip for herbs, especially. Number one, I love ginger root. I love the turmeric root also. And it also stays good for so long. Like, I'll have ginger root on my counter for, like, 3 weeks, and it's all good, you know? But when you're dealing with herbs, parsley, cilantro, oregano, whatever it is, wrap it up, like, roll it almost like a sushi roll in a wet paper towel, and then wrap it in, like, a plastic bag. It stays fresh for so long inside that wet paper towel. Because I know you get this huge bunch of herbs. You're not always using it. You just need, a quarter of a teaspoon, right, for your guacamole. So yeah, wrap that bad boy in a wet paper towel.
That's so helpful because I
Yeah.
feel like I wanna buy the fresh stuff. I really do, and when I have, like, people over, I'll make sure, like, that I do get the good kind for the guac or for, whatever I'm doing, but then it's like, what am I gonna do with the rest? It's gonna go brown,
Of
and
course.
so that's amazing. I wanna shift into asking about I think that one of the things that me and my friends talk a lot about is bloating. And what are some common causes or things that might be going on for people who wake up with a flat stomach and end the day looking 3 months pregnant?
So that level of bloating is not normal. That level of bloating is not okay typically, right? Um, some bloating is going to be okay. I feel like we have made health, we have made this idea of being our healthiest self, which means, oh my gosh, we can never bloat, we can never be constipated, I can never have diarrhea. Like, I just had acid reflux like one little time, oh my gosh, like everything is out the window. It's not like that, okay? A little bit of bloating, for example, what's a common cause? Beans, legumes, high fiber foods, especially in a gut that is not used to eating high fiber foods, will have some bloat to it. So you're having the beans, any kind of beans, a lot of chickpeas, lentils, cruciferous vegetables are a really big culprit, especially if they're raw. So your cruciferous vegetables are going to be broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts. Especially if you're eating these vegetables raw, they're raw vegetables are actually a little challenging for our body to digest, for our body to break down. So, and then the cruciferous vegetables on top of that have extra fiber in them. So these can be hard to break down and digest, might result in some bloating. Other common causes would be bacterial imbalances. And no matter what food you're eating, your bloating because your body is having your gut, your GI tract is having a hard time breaking down these foods. There might be some excess gas in there. So this is going to be a cause for bloating as well. Bloating. Other signs and symptoms, other reasons could be food sensitivities or food intolerances. Again, going back to the fact, no, 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 I've been eating this forever. It certainly can't be that. Well, the truth is it could be. And you're just feeling that sensitivity through a bloating aspect of things. Also, bloating could be bloating could be done from, and I know it sounds so crazy, but eating less than what we're supposed to be eating, especially as women. And women, we are, generally speaking, very active, right? Whether that activity is running after kids, getting ready, and working, and the kitchen, and the laundry, and more kids, right? Whether it's weightlifting and hit classes and running, it can be very easy for us to undereat what we're supposed to eat. Undereating is a stressor for the body, which could result in bloating. So the truth is while I can say, yeah, there might be some bacterial imbalances. Yeah, food sensitivities, things like that. It's really helpful to work with somebody to figure out your body, to connect to your body, to keep a food, mood, and poop journal, to keep a food journal, to be able to look back and correlate how you're feeling to the foods that you're eating. It's very helpful.
It's so interesting. I have had endometriosis since I was like 14, and I had originally had a surgery to laser it off when I was 18, I believe. And then
Yeah.
more recently, I've been finding myself having more symptoms that correlate with that again, and I really have been kind of free of that. And so I sat down with my physician and my my gynecologist, and she was like, "I'm gonna give you a diet that will help the symptoms." And it's so funny how important all of the like, food is not just to your gut, but to all the other, like, things in your body and perpetuating symptoms in your body.
Yeah, absolutely. It's because our gut is so, I mean, within our gut, we balance and regulate hormones. We create neurotransmitters. So I also call them like neurohormones, like our serotonin and our dopamine that we think about are happy, mood regulating, it's like stress, anti-stress hormones are regulated in our gut. Our immune system lives in our gut. We have lymph that lymph fluids that travel and that hit our gut. Everything is impacted, but also if we think so if we put food in the middle and we have all of these branches that come out, there's going to be love and happiness and celebration and joy and sorrow and sadness and things like that. But one of the really important branches is going to be fuel, and it's whole body fuel. It's whole body function fuel, our brain. Oh my gosh, our brain is like our brain requires fat. Our brain is 75 or so percent fat. It's crazy. Like we need fat for our brain to function. So when we think about that and we realize how important eating is, the breaking down of what we eat, the extracting of the nutrients from the food that we eat to fuel our hormones, our blood sugar, our reproductive, our urinary, our neuro, our mood, our muscles, our blood. Food is the basis for fueling our body.
Yeah, that and it's so helpful to, like, reset with that because I think, I grew up in a house where, like, food was a reward. So, like, we
Mm,
celebrated with food, like, it and I still do this a lot, like, I'm very aware of this in my life
yeah,
and with my kids is that if we do something great, we're gonna go out to dinner and celebrate
yeah,
and
yeah,
indulge, and,
yeah.
so I think that it's funny going, back to the beginning of our conversation is that our mindset around food and what it is in our life changes how we treat it and how we interact with it. And we're also saying that the gut health is responsible for just about everything else. So I know that people are going to want to work with you after listening to this. And how can they best do that? Where can they find you?
Thank you so much. Yes, of course. So, TikTok and Instagram is both going to be nutritionist Aubrey. My website is www.nutritionistaubrey.com, and that will lead you right into links, different programs, freebies, and a way to contact me. So it's all nutritionist Aubrey is going to be the main domain with that.
It's perfect. And I will drop everything in the show notes so that they can follow you, connect with you for all your tips and tricks. You're always like trying new foods and stuff. And I was like, I need to know more about this because I'm so much of a like, if I know about it, that's like, you know what I mean? Like I just stick to what I know. So having somebody expand my thought process around that has been so cool.
Yeah, thank you. And hey, I think that we're all guilty of it because the truth is running into the grocery store and grabbing our staples is time saving. It's easy. We know how to cook them. We know how long it takes. We know all of the good things, right? So I fully understand that. But even if you could just add like one or two new things, and summertime is such a great time to start that because the produce aisle is so plentiful with the herbs and the berries and the fruits and the veggies and the greens. It's just such a fun time to explore and to experiment with new foods.
Well, we're all following along so that you can introduce us to all the new things. Thank you so much for your wisdom. This was a great conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved this, and thank you for sharing some of your stories. And yeah, I thank you again for having me. I loved being here.